babies, and your spouses, and just let them know that you do care about them, even in the midst of your busy days and your come and going um, of your days. I think that is so important, especially now with us being able to see. I mean, death has always been around us, but especially with us being able to see that injustice is growing. It's not so much that death is new to us; it's that the injustice around us is growing, and we're seeing that so many of our loved ones are being taken um, by these different avenues of injustice. And so I think it's so, so, so important to take out the time and just say, hey, you know what? I love you. I don't care if you're walking around the house cooking and cleaning, and the kids are in the bedroom. Call them each, name by name, name them, call them one by one, you know, whoever, I love you, whoever, I love you, whoever two, I love you, whoever three, I love you, say it to say it to your spouses, um, but definitely say it. It is so important, and our children think that we are so perfect, and they get into a place of thinking that we don't make mistakes because we're always correcting them on their mistakes. So get in the habit of sharing with your children some of the things that you dealt with while you were in school, because a lot of these babies are going through different challenges, or going through different struggles, and they are feeling disconnected from family, disconnected from even the peers at school, because they're being outcast, or they're treated like an outsider, or they're treated different, for one reason or another. So get in a habit of just sharing with them some of the, type of challenges that you experienced while you were in school, to kind of let them know that they're not alone, and to let them know that, whatever they're going through, they can always come to you and talk to you. And do it from both sides. Do it from the mom side. Do it from the dad side. And if you have multiple little people in your home, then it's a great opportunity to take control of your home and have family meeting times. I mean, family health check times. This is where you guys sit around as a wonderful family, and you guys share some of the things that you're going through, not only at work, but the other babies get to share some of the things that they are experiencing at school as well. And it gives the parents, as well as those other siblings, an opportunity to know exactly what's going on, with their loved ones throughout the day. Because even adults get bullied at work. Even adults get talked down at work. Even adults get casted out, and treated differently at work. So just to, share this with your children, and for your children to be able to share with you that, these things are happening to them, it gives you that opportunity to put some strengthening mechanisms in place, you know, and to be able to encourage them and balance it out, balance that negativity out with some healthy love and some healthy, you know, uh, reminders and key things to send that baby off to school with. Because these children, sometimes along the way, back and forth to school, especially if they're walking home and they're walking to school, they sometimes want to take a detour, and they sometimes want to do something different, and that something different may involve them either getting in trouble, may involve them skipping school, or may involve suicide. So take the time out. Your home is what you make it. You can make it a healthy, safe place, haven for your children. You can make it one of those, round table events for your children, where you can sit down and they can sit down, and you guys can share together, and you guys can exchange, thoughts, and, exchange what's going on with you. So maybe some of them can even say, you know what, Mom, I'm sorry you're going through that. You know what, Dad, I'm sorry you're going through that. Or Mom and Dad has that opportunity to say, you know what, baby, I'm so sorry you're going through that. And maybe Mom and Dad won't be so hard on those babies when they come through that door, and things just, the smallest things is what they're calling them on, not even realizing that they went through something bigger at school. So, again, I really hope you guys took out the time to share with your loved ones that you love them, and encourage them. And if you didn't, hey, we get a chance every day to wake up and try it again. So do it today. Do it tonight. I'm going to start out. My scripture tonight is 34:17 and 18 of Psalms. I'm sorry, Psalms 34:17 through 18. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. And I chose this scripture tonight because I'm going through this little challenge, and this is what I'm working on now. And I think that is so important. And this challenge is the autopsy report. Yeah, the autopsy report. Um, Everything has its emotional toll in regards to this, because anytime I go through any of the recordings or, start pulling back some of the memories of this, I have to remember, how I saw my brother last. And I can't even describe that for you to make you understand how painful that is for me, and just how malicious just the image itself and the memory of it is for me. Um, but needless to say, I thought, well, you know what? We're going to go through the paper aspect of it. So in going through the paper aspect of it, uh, we need to have the bread and butter of it all, because we've heard a lot of, you know, conversations from, Jeff Rogers, conversation from Chef Roberts in regards to the autopsy said this, the toxicology report says that. So I started to actually go live when I went, but I decided, okay, no, I won't do this. I'll, go in on my own. But I went to the Arkansas State Crime Laboratory, and for those of you, and I actually originally attempted to try and get an autopsy report back in, I want to say it was around 9/11 of 2018. I would have to double check that date, or 8/11 of 2018, and I wasn't successful. And so when I went this time, they shared with me, I spoke with one of the young ladies, and she shared with me, well, things have changed. And she said, so you are able to get a copy of the autopsy report. And so for those of you who have been trying to get an autopsy report in regards to your own loved ones, just know that things have changed there, and that has been, I guess, made easier for, families, family members. You do have to be, I guess, a certain relative in order to do it. But anyway, it's via this form here. So it's a really, really simple form. What you're having to do is just basically fill out this form, and they ask you the deceased name, the date of the deceased, and then you have to put the requester's name, your relationship to the deceased, your address, your email address, your telephone number. Then you have to sign it. You do have to have it notarized. I was blessed the day I went in, because I was fortunate enough to have a notary in my presence. So I was really blessed that day. And so, needless to say, I submitted this on the 10th. So those of you, and this is another reason why I decided to jump into this part of it, just sharing with you guys my journey with this autopsy report request, is because I was told that it would take about 3 or 4 days to actually get it, and or about 3 days or so. And unfortunately, now one of the hangups is that it still requires the prosecuting attorney to release the autopsy report. So for those of you who knows that your wonderful prosecuting attorney, Jeff Rogers, is sitting there with you, or John Shepard, and they're looking over your shoulders or sitting next to you watching this, please, Mr. Jeff Rogers, Mr. John Shepard, if you guys could be so kind. You guys have put us through so much already, and we are still seeking answers. And I cannot even imagine why you would keep the autopsy report from us if, in fact, what you shared with us was your truth. Not even your truth. It was the autopsy's truth. So I cannot imagine why you wouldn't release it. So, if you will you please release the autopsy report? I've already spoken to Ms. Reed from the Arkansas State Crime Laboratory, and I received an email back from Ms. Reed sharing with me that she sent those documents over to you on the 10th, and that she's just waiting for you to release them. And I'm asking you, please release them. So, also, Mr. Rogers, I had the opportunity to meet one of the employers there, and she made mention that you was the prosecuting attorney, there now, and she actually said, um, that, wow, she said, and it's about time. And I was surprised because that was the very first person that actually said something kind about you. So I did want to share that with you, and I do want to share that with, everybody else that's listening, because I'm pretty sure it's been some concerns about, whether or not there was some nice things to say about you. And I was really, because she said, well, how do you feel about him? And I shared with her, I said, you know what? My truth is, I don't know Mr. Rogers. I had never met him a day before this accident. I had never heard his name before this accident. All I know is who he has showed me he was. And Maya Angelou said, when somebody shows you who they are, you believe them. And that's all you've given me. So before I left that building, I did share with that lady. I said, you know what? I do appreciate you saying something positive to me in regards to him. Because I would honestly like to know or believe that everybody has something positive about them that somebody can talk about. So I thought I would share that with you. But needless to say, so I came on tonight to share with you guys that I am waiting for an autopsy report so that we can look at the autopsy report and hopefully confirm what was shared with the family throughout this whole horrible incident. And hopefully it's only going to be a couple more days. But like I said, any of you that is friends or acquaintances or associates or can manage to get a word to the prosecuting attorney's office or Mr. Rogers, and I did call them. And I did inquire about it. But unfortunately, I was told that they were out of the office. And so it was hit and miss, in and out of the office. And I just, another thing I would like to share with them, you guys do know that we're not gullible. That when we make phone calls to, certain places as such as these, these different institutions, especially government institutions, that when we call you, call ID been around for so long. So when we call your phones and you choose not to answer, we know that that doesn't mean that you're not in business right now, because it's a 9-to-5 business, generally 8, and you probably show up even earlier than that on some occasions. We dealt with that all through the investigation, where the detective was no longer answering our phone calls, where the sheriff was no longer answering our phone calls, prosecuting attorney wouldn't take calls. So we do know, we are progressive enough to understand that when we're calling, you're looking at the caller ID and you're just thinking that's not a call you want to take right now. So If you're no longer taking calls and I don't have an email to communicate with you, then my next source is to see, hopefully, if I can print it in the newspaper. And that's sad that I would have to go to the newspaper and put in the newspaper, well, hi, prosecuting attorney Jeff Rogers, I'm trying to reach out to you or John Shepard in regards to the Arkansas State Crown Laboratory form that I filled out on October the 10th. To get a copy of my brother Donald Ray Manning Jr.'s autopsy report, but unfortunately when I attempt to make phone calls to you, I am not able to get you because it's a hit and miss and you're not returning the calls to me, and I don't know whether or not you're getting the message. So if you would, could you please just reply in the newspaper article? I shouldn't have to go to the media to just get your attention. So with all due respect, please, please. So once again, you guys, when we get the autopsy report, I'll read through it and hopefully we can confirm some of the things that was said, share with the family. I really pray that there's not some really huge differences, because I think that would tear me up even more so, because I already feel like what my eyes seen in the morgue and what I was shared with by Butterfield, that the autopsy may reveal some things that that I probably should have already accepted, but that I just don't want to. But we just have to wait. We have to wait, keep praying, and keep moving forward and go from there. So I will follow up with them tomorrow. I did put in a request to get a hard copy, so they should be emailing me one, and I should have one where I'm able to go by and pick it up. So I'll let you guys know. In the meantime, keep telling your loved ones that you love them. Stay prayed up. And for those that don't pray, because I know some of you don't, and that's your choice, please don't feel like I'm forcing that on you, but do what you do to stay in a positive space in your life. Love you guys. Be blessed. And please, please get that message over to the prosecuting attorney. I would really like to have the autopsy report. Thank you. Oh, just share it. Share the video. And I'll name it Seeking Autopsy Report Approval. Prosecuting Attorney Jeff Shepard. Ooh, forgive me. From Prosecuting Attorney Jeff Rogers. So just share it. I'll name it that.